Imagine you've just landed your first online tutoring job. How exactly would you structure the lesson to make it truly impactful and unforgettable for your learners? That's exactly what we're going to be discussing in this video today. And as always, remember to pause the video, reflect, write your thinking, and of course, compare with my own thinking. The knowledge we're going to be sharing here today is not just important for online tutoring. Even as a teacher, these are skills that you can use within the classroom, off the classroom, wherever it is you are educating people or working with people. Every brief teacher structures their lesson into the six parts that you probably are not seeing, but then they are there. And those are the six parts we're going to be discussing in this video, starting with the very first, which is the starter. The starter is a simple activity that wakes the brain up and calls attention, calls the child's focus to what the essence of the day is going to be. The aim of the starter is to wake up the brain and focus attention. It basically tells the students that class has started and I need to focus, right? And how do you plan a starter activity? Think about a very simple task, easy enough to actually be done, completed soon, and just hard enough to get the child to think, right? Think about something that a child can complete within 3 to 5 minutes. It could be a one question activity, it could be a game, it could be a spot the mistake kind of challenge. It's also good practice for some teachers to link a starter to the previous class or to the class that the child or the learner is just about to engage in. So that's about it for the starter. And then we're going to talk about the introduction. I think this is a part that some online teachers tend to forget, right? And this is especially important if you're working with K-12 learners. You want to actually prompt a proper introduction of the lesson. How does that happen? It could be from taking down the dates and taking down the lesson objective. It's good practice to always indicate what the lesson objective for the day is. We would normally use a very simple approach, which is the WALT approach. We are learning to WALT approach, and then you just start with a verb. We are learning to describe photosynthesis, or we are learning to solve word problems involving fractions, stuff like that. And you make sure that your learners have their dates written down. They also have the learning objectives written down. Some people also go further to write what we call the wheel, what I'm looking forward to. And these are like different ways that you can introduce the lesson and what the lesson is about. Right after the introduction, we have the core concept. The core concept is where the actual learning happens. And I've also seen instances where online tutors skip this part. If it's out of mistake, then we should all stop it, because that is where you actually have the opportunity to build a mental picture of the idea that you are about to discuss or to explore. Some of the ways to do this is you want to learn to explain in small steps. Talk about it, think about it as scaffolding. You know how you bring an onion and you open from one layer of the onions to the other. That's what scaffolding looks like. So you already know what the skill is, what the lesson is, what the instruction is. It's now your job to ensure that you deliver it in a way that the children would totally understand it. Use one clear example at a time. Use analogies. Use things that the children can easily relate to make sense out of that idea. And of course, think out loud as you solve. It's always good for children to see you demonstrating thinking out loud, so they get to understand it and start to practice it even while they're trying and attempting their own problems. You want to also keep talking time short during core concepts, because this is another concept that a lot of teachers miss. Core concept is not about explaining, it's about exploring. So basically, you're helping the children explore the ideas, see new ideas that they could add to what they already knew, give room for more discussion and questions. You also want to show, don't lecture. I would always highlight that within an online classroom, it's very easy to lose the attention of your learners. And so it's very important that the kids are engaged from their eyes to their ears to their mouth. Let them be the ones engaged. I would normally, to put it very subtly, I would normally say something as easy as let them talk more than you talk. Let them observe, let them see, let them discuss more than you. Also very important is that you can check for understanding every 1 to 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. Check for understanding, see that what's being discussed is being understood exactly the way that it is meant to be understood, using very quick questions. Right after core concepts, we have guided practice. Why exactly is guided practice important? It helps students practice with support. So think about guided practice like holding the hands of your learners and guiding them through the road, showing them the road to do something, right? And how do you do it? You do the question first together with the learners, and then you let the students lead while you prompt, and then finally you correct mistakes and misconceptions gently, while also watching them try to do it by themselves. Some common sentences that you'd use in guided practice might be, okay, what's our first step here? What do we do next? Why is this next? Conversations that helps a child to actually think. It's like you're prompting them during guided practice. And then before we go into independent practice, to check if learning actually happened, every lesson should come with some time for independent practice. Basically, give about 2 to 5 questions. Stay quiet. This is not the point for you to teach. Keep quiet, observe, allow the children to attempt. You can only step in if a child is completely and totally stuck, right? And your job at that point is not for you to step in and do the work for them. Your job is to listen and see where they feel stuck and actually provide support in that particular. It's like you're unblocking a particular aspect of the activity so that the child is able to continue. Does that make sense? Yeah. So that's exactly how independent practice is done. What you want to see is, can the learner start without help? Do they correct themselves when they are stuck? Can they explain their answers in very easy terms? The next aspect of your lesson, of your lesson design and structure, is your plenary. Think about the plenary as a reflection, a time for a child to actually reflect and lock in what has been learned. It also helps them build confidence. Some of the things that you can do during plenary is to ask them to explain the concept back to you. Is to also highlight one clear thing they have learned, or one thing they are still struggling with, or something they are interested in knowing further based on the lesson. Also very good to keep plenary very short, just like your starter, keep your starter very short. Do not use the starter time as an opportunity to start teaching a fresh idea. If a child doesn't get it, then they don't get it, right? That is not the lesson for the day. The thing about planning, designing, and delivering an impactful lesson is that there is no one size fits all method of doing it. However, these structures that I've explained are a good first step to guide every beginner to start. So remember, it flows this way from your starter to your introductions, from introductions. Okay, let's just quickly talk about timing. Your starter could take anything between 3 to 5 minutes. Your introduction will take anything between 2 to 5 minutes as well. 5 minutes should be the maximum. Core concepts should take between 5 to 10 minutes. Guided practice should take between 10 to 20 minutes, and then independent practice can take between 10 to 20 minutes as well. And your plenary can be just about 5 minutes as well. It's very important that as a beginner, you start with these core aspects of the lesson. Do not skip any part. As you learn and practice and get more comfortable, you'll be able to see, okay, what can I add? Or even skip at some point, depending on the learner and the child that you're teaching. If you found this video useful, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.